Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Heather Spears and I am a fashion designer. So in today's video, I'm doing something really simple, really straightforward, and super great to know for, your basic knowledge of sewing here. And that is simply how to do an invisible stitch slash blind hem. So you might be asking yourself, whoa, what is that? And really what it is, you see, right here I have this nice pair of pants, and at the bottom I noticed there is a blind hem. Now, if you could see that up close, it is, you can barely see the stitches on that, and that is something that is used on certain garments sometimes. That's really good to know. So the rest of this video, I am going to be showing you how to do that stitch by hand, and then I'm going to show you how to do it on machine also. So without further ado, let's get started. So before we jump in, I am going to be showing you guys both the hand and the machine versions of this stitch on contrasting fabric. I'm going to be using this fabric for showing you guys how to do it, and then I will also show you what it looks like in a matching thread and fabric too. So I'll be doing white fabric here with black thread, and then also black fabric with black thread. So first things first, we are going to go ahead and thread our needle. This is for the hand stitch here. You thread your needle by pulling the thread through the eye, coming all the way to the end, and then tying it in a knot. Okay, now that we have our needle threaded and our fabric here, it'll be helpful to grab some pins, and I have it labeled wrong side of the fabric. I don't know if you can see that, but I did my best there to help you guys see that on the video. And I'm just gonna fold over the fabric where I want it. And if I was doing this for real, I would definitely press it. But since this is just showing you guys how to do the stitch, I'm gonna skip that for today. We're just gonna put a few little marks here to hold it in place, because that's where we want it. Like I said, definitely press it if you're doing this for reals with a hot iron. So for this, I actually like to sew it on the right side of the fabric when I'm doing it by hand here. And I'm just going to come from the bottom here and pull my needle through where I want it, like so. And then I'm just going to go very, 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 very close, pull my needle through, and this part gets kind of tricky. Then instead of pulling my needle all the way through right here, I'm gonna push it over like this, take this top thread here and loop it around, and just go ahead and pull it through like this. So you should get something that's like, oh no, that doesn't look a thing like what we want, but trust me, it'll be okay. So from here, I'm gonna make sure we get close again, like how we did, but through both of the little fabric, both of the little thread loops, and we're just gonna do the same thing. You push it through like this, take this, and loop it around. And that's going to be a very, very repetitive process through this whole thing. Okay, so now once you have your little line going like this and you decide to be done, you're going to take your needle, and instead of pushing it through the fabric, we're just going to push it right through those little threads there. Go boop. And then look at that. Kind of just remove them. And like magic, you pull it tight. There we go. And that is how the stitch look. If it was with matching colors here, you would barely see that little stitch. To finish, you just get it, clip it really close here, pull it to the other side, and tie your knot. So this is how the front of it will look, and the back looks something like this. And that gives her a really clean finish on those outfits you don't want to see that finishing stitch. And now I'm going to show you this exact same method by hand on fabric that matches. So I'll have black fabric and black stitches. On the machine, we're going to need to prep our fabric in a similar manner to what we were doing with the hand sewn one. So this is the wrong side of the fabric, and I'm going to consider this the edge that we are going to want to hem. So we're going to be turning this over to the wrong side like so. Normally I would press it right here, but we're not doing that for today. And we're going to put pins in it just the same way as before. I'm not going to put too many pins because this is actually not exactly how we're going to be sewing it. This is just how we're going to start. So you are going to be needing a different presser foot for your machine, and let me show you. It's going to look like this right here. Now it's hard to tell, but what it has is it has this little, I don't know if you want to call it like a lip on it right there in the middle, and this is how it looks on the top. For my machine, it's actually labeled R, and it did come with it. You might have to buy it separate, but most machines, most home sewer machines do come with this presser foot. So this is what we are going to need to sew, what we're going to attach to the machine. Before we feed this into the machine, we're going to need to know how to feed it into the machine. So if this is the front of your fabric, and right along here is where we want our stitches, what we're going to do is take this, give it a little pinch like this, and kind of just make sure that we have a little bit of an overhang between here and here. Okay, so let me do that again just in case. So what we're going to do is from this point, take it and give it a little pinch, then flip it like this, and this is actually where we're going to be sewing. So this is where we're going to actually want our pins to mark. It's okay to put a little extra pins in this because it does get kind of confusing here, but you get the hang of it. Do a couple test pieces before you hit it with the real one. So where we're going to actually be sewing is we're going to be feeding this through something like, imagine this presser foot on the machine, lining it up like this, and the needle will go from side to side like this. Let me take you to the machine and show you. So now over at our machine, we're going to want to change out this presser foot like I was talking about before. So just do that how you usually would. That's my standard foot, and putting it aside. And then we have the new foot. Now, you guys are probably familiar with the fact that a regular straight stitch is not going to work with this new presser foot, so we're going to need to change that stitch. The machine that I'm using is a Brother SE400 right now, in case you're wondering, and these are the stitch types that come on my machine. Now my stitch number that I will be using for this will be stitch number 17 right here, and stitch number 18 would be if we were using a knit fabric, but today with the scrap fabric I'm using is woven, so we're going to be going with 17. But that will vary based on your machine. You're just going to want to get the stitch that looks the most like this. Now feel free to play with the settings on your stitch length and all that if you want. You'll know what looks best for your piece, but for example reasons I'm just going to leave this how it is today. So now that we have everything all set and ready to go, we're going to start feeding this fabric into our machine. So like I said, you're going to want to line up, let me just put this down real quick. You're going to want to line up this little extra nose on the end of this presser foot right up against that fold line right there. And then when you start sewing, you'll notice that it just barely clips over as you follow that line, and it zigzags back and forth. The more fabric you get overlay on this line, the larger those stitches are going to be, so it's going to look less invisible. So you just want it to barely clip where that fold is. But you see how much faster it goes this way than by hand. But they both have their pluses and minuses. So when you're done, it should look something like this. I know you're probably thinking, wow, that looks crazy. I specifically went over a little bit right here to show you guys some longer lengths, but over here I clipped it very, very, very close. And let me show you what it looks like on the other side. So when you fold that out, your stitches look something like this. Okay, you could really see those on the contrasting fabrics, but as you can see over here, I did it a little bit longer, and I did that just to show you that you can kind of get it a little bit longer when you're looking for those shorter ones, like right here. When you're looking for those shorter ones like these ones here. If this was on fabric that matched, it would be a lot harder to see. And this is what the back looks like. So you get a much cleaner finish on the back. Let me show you what both of the contrasting pieces look like together. Okay, so out of our two contrasting fabrics here, this piece is the hand sewn one and this piece is machine sewn. Now the advantage of hand sewing is obviously you can get those marks a lot smaller by using your eye, but it takes so much more time. And then the machine, you get, when you play with your settings, you could get these a lot shorter, but it is kind of like a trial and error kind of thing when you do it this way. Now, when it comes to like the back, now the back doesn't always matter, but this is a lot more professional looking than these longer stitches here. So this is what the contrasting one looks like on the machine. Let me show you what it looks like when we have the same color thread and the same color fabric. Guys, so that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video on learning how to do a blind hem invisible stitch kind of thing. If you enjoyed this video or if you learned something new, please give me a thumbs up so that I know. Or if you'd like to hang out again, if you'd like to learn more, check out some of the things I've made or any of that good stuff, hit that subscribe button and you are always welcome to join me. Until next time guys, bye!